Hello. Is this thing on? Hello, friends. How's it going? Happy sleepy Saturday. Hello. I put this camera up so you can behold my makeup and my mess, but that's not why it's here. It's mostly for the paper chain. And the lights that are still up as well. Hello, hello. Hi, Rowan. And hi, anyone who's lurking. I hope you're all well. I'm a bit late today because I overslept. I could have sworn I set an alarm at 11. Turns out I didn't. So yeah. Actually, while I'm talking about it, while I'm thinking about it, putting my coffee here carefully, I'm gonna set an alarm for tomorrow because otherwise I'm gonna have the same issue. That's not my alarms. There we go. Oh yeah, turn that one on for Thursday as well. When my dad comes over. There we go. Good, I've set alarms now. You're very sleepy and you're making coffee and dumplings. Ooh, nice. Oh, I had some fricandela porridge for breakfast. Voyage! Hi. Good to see you, friend. Thanks for the gigantify. I am sleepy. I overslept. Yeah. Because yesterday I was like, yeah, if I get up in time and I'll just do my morning routine and then think, you know, check the vibes. What am I feeling like doing today? And apparently the vibes are EP. The vibes are EP. Because of the oversleepy. So yeah. Here we are. Here we are. Doing some more needle felting. Because this is a big project that will need to be done. Hello, Jason! Good to see you. Oh. I hope you're all well, friends. I hope nothing eventful has happened since last we spoke. You know, yesterday. But you never know. You never know. No spoons, only vibes. Ah, I see. I see. Yeah, thank you for the lurk, friend. Go take care of yourself. Yeah, yeah. Same, to be honest. But yes, I have treated myself to some new origami papers. As a treat. Because I like the paper chain. It looks cute, but it looks a bit dark for my taste, but that's, you know, it's all Christmassy themed. So I've ordered one that's really bright in watercolors. So I can make some more bright strips that also have a color on the other side, because the other origami papers I have are white on the back side. Which is fine when you're doing origami, but like for a paper chain, I wanted something more colorful because I'm picky like that. But yeah, I'm just holding my coffee, my cup. There, just quickly putting my coffee back on the hot plate. Let's see. So yesterday there had been a little kitty cat cheeky little kitty cat on my desk when suddenly I was sitting in the living room because I finally got an address book, like a proper address book for all my friends' addresses, and I was writing those addresses in. So, and suddenly Sen goes, "Hey, you're sending a lot of messages in a Discord server." Thankfully, it was like our own Discord server. And I was like, "Is there a cat on your keyboard?" I was like, "God damn it!" So I rushed upstairs, and there was indeed a cat on my keyboard. It was an Ahsoka who was standing on my keyboard to really sniff the baked goods that I had still had on my desk. So yeah, that was something. Hi, Hyper. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Let's see. Yeah, this is where I left off yesterday. I'm working on these small wings here. And again, just to get the base pattern down. This is gonna take forever, but it's okay. You're looking after some cats right now and I do not leave you alone? Aww. You got the needy kitties, yeah? Well, the problem was I was downstairs, right? So the craft room's upstairs. Like my workshop here that I am in right now is upstairs. So I was downstairs sitting at the dining room table because I had nice space there and no electronic distractions where I could just write my friends' addresses in. And then suddenly Sen goes, you're sending a lot of messages in this channel." And I was like, "Oh, god damn it." So I guess Ahsoka on your desk is like, "Yep." And I came in and there wasn't indeed an Ahsoka. The cheeky calico was on my desk, staring at me because I had baked goods on there. The baked goods were untouched, but she, had I not intervened, she definitely would have, you know? This is the same cat that a few weeks ago made herself a really cozy spot in my one of my fabric bins that was on the floor, because I'd grabbed some fabric from there and I hadn't cleaned it up yet. And I've done her bad. Not only have I removed the fabric that she was on because it desperately needs to be defurred and then washed, but I had put the fabric bin back where it's supposed to be, stacked on top 2 other big crates full of fabric. And I caught her at the top, trying to make herself cozy at the topmost bin. I was like, absolutely not. We're not doing this. You are not doing acrobatics just to get cozy in this room. Nuh-uh. But yeah, this morning she was found cozy on my office chair. So, yeah. Interesting what... You're here to cause chaos? Sure, also that, probably. But chaos. Let me quickly read whatever this type. They're interested in what you're doing 24/7. I'm now on your TV. Hi. Hello. If you're in the front room, suddenly have to be in the front room. If you turn around and go to the kitchen, suddenly they have to be on the bench. And hey, what's that? Sniff, sniff. Oh boy. All right, friends. So for the next 5 minutes, I'll be speaking Dutch. I don't know what I'll be talking about. I can tell you about needle felting, but yeah, if you rely on closed captions, I'm sorry, it's gibberish, but don't worry. Most of the people that have audio on cannot make sense of what I'm doing either. I have to look into the closed captions and see if I can set it so that it auto detects the language. I think there was an option for that, but yeah, I have not found that out just yet. Hey, Kijk, de timer werkt zelfs. De timer werkt vandaag. Wat? Hoe dan? In ieder geval.
Het universum zingt voor mij.
Oh, jezus. Het universum... Ja, dit is een of andere Nederlandse zanger. Ik moet eerlijk bekennen, ik ben niet zo bekend met Nederlandstalige muziek. Het is niet echt mijn ding, zeg maar. Het is een heel cultuur en zo, maar dat is ook meer... Ja, dat is niet hier in het zuiden, zeg maar. Dat is niet echt onze cultuur. In ieder geval niet van veel mensen. Dus. Maar ik weet dat het van inderdaad een Nederlandse zanger is die dat zegt.
Diamonds are made when coal is put under intense pressure.
Hoi, Nicky.
Diamonds put under intense pressure become foam pellets, commonly used today as packing material.
Kijk, iedereen zegt hallo, Nicky. Nee, Nicky, ik praat Nederlands. Dat ben je waarschijnlijk niet van mij gewend. Want meestal als ik met Nicky praat, is dat of in het Engels of in het dialect. Wat ik denk ook wel veel van jullie ook wel interessant zouden vinden. Maar ik ben bang dat dat te gelokaliseerd is. Weet je? Dat mijn locatie te veel weggeeft. Ja. Ik ben heel blij dat Nicky niet kan lezen, Jason. Wat zou het in het Nederlands? Is dat dan prik, 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 prik? Het loopt niet zo. Ja, ik moet zeggen, stap is ook niet super makkelijk om te zeggen, maar... Steak is ook niet... Is het ook niet. Is ook niet de vibe. Ja, precies. Dat is het probleem met de dialecten hier in het zuiden, maar dat zal in het noorden waarschijnlijk ook zo zijn. Dat je echt de dialecten... In ieder geval hier in het zuiden kan het zo zijn dat ieder dorp weer zijn eigen ding heeft, zijn eigen dialect heeft. En dat soms zelfs iedere 5 kilometer een andere woorden, andere accenten gebruikt. Ja, precies. Ja, dat is dus hier precies hetzelfde. Dat is hier precies hetzelfde. Ik moet wel zeggen dat ik op verschillende plekken gewoond en gewerkt heb en ook naar school gegaan ben. Dus dan is het een mix van alles. Maar uiteindelijk, het meeste dialect praat ik tegenwoordig meer met mijn vader. Dus dat geeft dan weer heel erg die locatie weg. Maar ja, het is goed om te weten dat het inderdaad... Ik had al zo'n vermoeden, want dat is het ding, hè. Als je een officiële taal hebt, dan zijn er officiële regels voor. Maar omdat het een dialect is, het is een... ik weet het niet, zijn het dode talen? Het zijn in ieder geval wel stervende talen. Omdat heel veel ouders het hun kinderen niet meer leren. Ik weet dat er een hele campagne was toen ik op de middelbare school zat. Om ouders te vragen om alsjeblieft weer dialect met hun kinderen te spreken en ze te leren. Omdat het gewoon bijna verloren ging. Dat is gewoon zonde. Maar men dacht dat door de kids alleen Nederlands te leren en geen dialect, dat ze een betere kans zouden hebben op een baan. Ah, there we go. That was 5 minutes. Holy butts. Here up north, the school is now teaching kids Lower Saxon again, which I think is awesome. That's so cool! I love that. Yes. Preserve that heritage. Because, yeah, I was saying, when I was in high school, there was a campaign down here urging parents to please use, teach their kids the dialect again, because it was dying, it was fading. Because parents thought that by just teaching their kids Dutch, the official Dutch by the book language, that they would have a better chance of getting a job. But I mean, me growing up surrounded by different languages, different dialects, Dutch and German, that I'd been speaking from a young age, I now have great affinity for languages. Because I learned many different ones growing up. So yeah. Not saying that's going to be the case for everyone. But it does certainly help learning different languages at a young age. I believe that there's even like research done on that, like scientific research proving that if you teach children multiple languages, they have an easier time picking up new ones as they're older. But yeah. But that's really cool, Jason, that the schools are teaching. I wouldn't know, because I don't know. I don't really know anyone with kids around here. So I don't know what schools down here are up to nowadays, but I would love to see that too, Bringing it back. And yeah, and it was also proved that, like, even though parents taught their kids just Dutch, it's not like they had a better chance of getting a job in the big city, or like outside of this province, because they'd be made fun of for their accent anyway. So like, we're still discriminated against for the different accents that are not from the central of the Netherlands. I know it's a lot less now because we're all adults, but I do know that my siblings, in-laws, used to make fun of my accent because I was from a different province. And even when we had colleagues over that worked for the same company but at an office somewhere further up north in the Netherlands. And when I say further up north, I mean that from my southern perspective. So probably middle to north. They would also make fun of our accents and how we would be in the ass end of nowhere. And it's just... yeah, it sucks. It's stupid, man. Languages are fantastic. So yeah, it's good to hear. Because I know Frisian is an official language, which I don't speak. The interesting thing is, if I do speak the dialect, that people who do speak Frisian have an easier time understanding me than just compared Frisian to Dutch. So I can communicate with people that speak Frisian. I just don't speak it myself, which I think is a really interesting thing, because it's basically opposite sides of the country. But then again, there's also places in Germany when I speak my dialect, they don't understand me. But if I'm like, in most places they won't actually understand me when I speak the Plattdeutsch, or just my variant of that. because it is another dialect. And then some people go like, no, I understand you perfectly. This makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. But the wildest thing, honestly, still the wildest thing to me, which really opened my eyes to it being a dying or maybe even a dead language, is when German friends of mine told me that their grandparents used to speak it, Plattdeutsch, but they were never taught themselves. So it's like, to many, at least of my German friends, to many it's like it's a whole different generation that used to speak this. It's a grandma language, basically. And it's like, that's so sad, because it's so cool to have your own language. Like, I know that even within my family, and they're not unique in this, but even within my family, there's unique words and phrases for it, for things. I know my dad has a my dad actually has a dictionary in one of the dialects. But yeah, languages evolve continuously. That's kind of the thing, right? That's like a sign of a living language. I'm not a linguist, so I might be talking out of my ass here, but I do seem to remember that that is one of the things. And I think at least most of the dialects here no longer evolve because so few young people speak it. So hearing that they up in the north of the Netherlands, roughly, at least in some parts, they are teaching it in schools again. It's absolutely a delight to hear. Like, that's good. That's good. It means the language is going to evolve again eventually. But yeah, like Latin is a perfect example of a dead language because no one really knows how to pronounce that anymore. There are some ideas, but also not the pronunciation that's really taught universally. Because it's not meant to be really spoken, but more read. But yeah. And it doesn't evolve anymore. Oh, what's everyone up to this Saturday? Got any creative projects going on? Because being creative is good for the soul, friends. And that can take any shape, form you like. I have to say, fiber arts of any kind are a gateway drug. If you start with, whether it's embroidery, crochet, knitting, felting, sewing, any of those, more often than not, you will end up with another type of fiber art. Like with crochet, you already have the yarn, so you could take up knitting. Hey. And they're all related. Also, fiber arts of any kind is a lot of math, chat. In case you're not familiar with the arts of fiber nation, knitting and crochet specifically are a lot of math, but so is sewing. There's a lot of counting and calculating involved. So one of the things, especially with fiber arts, because you're like, okay, sure, you have the yarn, and then if you start with crochet, you just need to get the knitting needles, or vice versa. Like, sure, yeah, but how do you go from there to embroidery? Because, well, some yarns can be used as embroidery floss, but you're right, embroidery floss is its own type of thread, type of yarn. But if you do wool felting, needle felting or something, it is it's not a huge leap to buy the wool and start spinning your own yarn. And while you're doing that, you might as well also experiment with dyeing. You know, dyeing different colors, maybe using natural products to dye things, your yarn, your wools, you know, stuff like that. And that's something that I have not done yet. I'm not saying it'll never happen, but it's also not something that's really piqued my interest that much. But that's mostly because the yarns I tend to use are cotton. And spinning cotton and spinning wool are two different things. Been doing a lot of meta work. Set up your personal website. Ooh, making databases, spreadsheets to help manage your creative slate and contact base, things like that. Ooh. What you planning? Because it sounds like you're setting up your own business, or you have your own business. Hyper, what's up? What you doing? If you're ready to share that, of course, because sometimes ideas are not ready to be shared just yet. Gotta get everything in place, but you've piqued my interest. And it's not self-promo if I ask about it, friends. Yes, I think I'll just finish this wing before moving on to this one, because I've already done the outline here. Part of me is really anxious about this and the pattern, because like I'm just lightly putting on all the lines, but what if those don't show? What if those don't show when I can eventually dissolve this? Because I can't dissolve this yet, because then I risk dissolving the rest of the pattern that I haven't done yet, you know? It's... Is my to try to further your career as a writer? Ooh. Nice. I didn't know you were a writer. What kind of stuff do you write? Because I, if anything, I'm a technical writer. Back in my old job, one of the many things I used to do was to update and maintain the standard operating procedures in the lab. Love that. Honestly, genuinely love that. Writing the technical manuals, making sure that it's like that they were up to code to the point where I could basically give them to someone who had very minimal lab training, and they could follow the procedures and just get shit done. And like in case of oh, someone needs to take this over in an emergency, there is no one to train you, here's the manual, you can do it. Love that shit. And I apparently was really good at it because the quality assurance team wanted me on their team, and I was like, no thanks, I don't want to do this full time. I'd get bored. I'd get so fucking bored out of just auditing and what have you. I would like, no, I don't want this full time, please. I want to do this as just with everything else, where I just like have a free moment, I'll write a manual, but not just that, you know? Tell me you got ADHD without telling me you got ADHD, am I right? Hi Sebastian! Trying into writing for film, TV, or games, developing a body of work to promote that. Hell yeah! Technical writing is fun. Yeah, gonna do a ton of technical writing at your last job. Doing just technical, yeah, exactly. I would get so bored. But it was really fun to just grab a manual and do some revisions and check it, get it up to date. But also translating. I'd make sure that there was a version in both Dutch and English, which is good fun. I did translations. You also translate technical terms. If there was a translation for it, yes. The leading language in science is still English, at least over here in the Western world. But especially because in the Netherlands, most people will speak English. Yeah. I would have to translate the jargon as well. But thankfully it was mostly manuals that involved either a type of kit or a type of robot that would have its own buttons and settings that would already be named. But for programs and such, you could sometimes select a different language. So it wasn't hard, it was just I had different profiles on my work PC because I would have one in Dutch and one in English, so I could just switch between them and check what it said in that language, in that program. What the button was called and stuff. Willekeurig toegangsgeheugen? What is that even? Random access memory? Like RAM? You mean the strips of RAM? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, it took me a second. I have seen that too, yeah. I have also done translations for different video games, which is just volunteer work. And I've seen some dreadful translations there as well, with people just translating it literally, not checking at the master list of translations. You know, yeah. Yeah. No, I tend to... you probably noticed me doing that on stream as well. If there's things that I need to translate, I keep the context in mind. I keep the more the spirit of the message rather than the letter, like to the letter. Because if you literally translate something, that's not gonna... it's not gonna translate. Like in Dutch, we have figure of speech that we use a lot more, like a lot more metaphors and just sayings, figure of speech in Dutch than a lot of people realize. And if you translate that literally, that's not gonna go over well. Now, I know that in English there's also figure of speech and sayings and stuff, which makes it really interesting because you have to be aware of both. And keep that in mind and rather translate the message that is being conveyed rather than the words that are on the paper. You'll make that the cat wise, yeah. And now the monkey comes out of the sleeve. Not to fall with the door in the house. Stuff like that, yes. Now you're really binding the cat to the bacon. The message is something, yeah, that gets lost in filmmaking too. Yeah. Especially if things are dubbed, because not only do you have to convey the same message, you also have to make it at least somewhat in sync with the mouth movements, right? You can't have there be a phrase when the mouth isn't moving, or have the mouth moving without there being any voice going on, you know? Which is difficult. Which is a whole art in and of itself. Now I have to say that in the Netherlands, yeah, like, we don't really dub movies. Like, we'll do it with kid shows, but we'd rather use subtitles. So I grew up reading subtitles. It's really easy for me. And I really prefer watching something in its original form with subtitles. A lot of people feel pressure to stick to the script exactly. Do quite a bit of translation work, and often people confuse the literal meaning of something with the actual meaning. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot, even just going from the script to the film set, no language barriers required. Ah. See, I'm not an actor. So I don't know. Connotation of words, yeah, different across languages. I didn't know you did translating, Jason. That's real cool. But yeah. Wait, I noticed that most when I did translations for video games. And suddenly they bring out a new update with new content and you have to make up a word. Hi, Valen! And there are cultural nuances that can be missed. Yeah, that too. Hi, good to see you. But yeah, when I did video game translations, when he brought out a new update and there were new items and new things and new deep lore, and we'd have to make up a word in Dutch that matched the overall vibe of the game with the rest of the Dutch translations, but also still fit in the lore, and that's quite difficult. You'd be an actor to notice a difference, meaning when the words are intoned differently. Yeah, right is a nice example of that. Yeah. And a lot of that gets lost in translation when you only have text, which is why intonation is so important. Yeah. Which is why a lot of people get into discourse online often, because there is no intonation, and it how you read something is so dependent on your own mood. And as Valen pointed out, cultural culture will also play a role in that. What subjects are taboo, which subjects are not taboo, the feeling you personally get when you think about something, and the use of certain swear words in Australian English versus American English, for instance. I do believe you're referring to the word cunt. Yeah, I do know that's a very, very bad word in American English, and Australians just call their friends good cunts, you know? The most famous one indeed, yeah. I talked about it with Hyper like a few streams ago, where what an Australian saying is, "I'm not here to fuck spiders." That's an Australian saying. Love that. It just means I'm not here to mess around. I don't want to waste time. I'm here to to get to the point. I'm not here to fuck spiders. There were several others. Can't remember, but we had a whole conversation about that, and that's just yeah. You have to keep that in mind when translating. I have to say, I've only done translations for video games that I've actually played, so that I knew the game, I knew the vibe, so it wasn't just pure line by line translations. You have a reverse formalities and understatements. Apparently, yeah. Hi, Sal. You had a fight with your ex because you texted him asking what he wanted to eat for dinner. He was like, I don't really mind. And you was like, what do you mean you don't really mind? Yeah. Yeah, simple shit like that. Americans do sarcasm and overstatements, and you do irony and understatements. That sounds really interesting to deal with, you know, if you have international colleagues. I do feel like With the Dutch being very direct, it can sometimes clash with different cultures, like the British culture, for example. All my friends in the UK are neurodivergent, all of them, because they appreciate the directness and the things. But if you've got neurotypical Brits, I've had not just discussions, but just straight up fights with people, because when we say, hey, we had a nice time, we should do this again sometime, the Dutch will immediately grab like their calendars, their diaries, the agendas, whatever you want to call it, and go, let's plan a new appointment then. This was fun. And the Brits will say that to be polite. They don't mean grab your calendar, let's plan a new date, you know? Hi, Duck. It sounds Dutch. Understatement and sarcasm. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, friends, we have an ad starting in about a minute, so I'm gonna be right back just to stretch my body a little bit, and get a beverage that is not coffee. Yeah. This would be a good time for you to also stretch some body parts, grab some hydration, grab a snack, take your meds. If you've not taken your meds today, but you still can, please do. And this is your reminder to check on your laundry, alright? I'll be back after the ads. Oh, friends. Let's not bring traditions from other streams over here when people come in to chat and say hi. So they can also just have a moment to get away from the shenanigans. Alright, I'll be right back. I return. There we go. Yeah. Thanks for being graceful about it. It's just it is indeed just meant as a redirection. Nothing more. Just to make sure that people don't feel like they cannot escape the shenanigans. That's all there is. But yeah. Well, I've been thinking about the different cultural things. It's really interesting that even in English as a language, there is of course the cultural like the cultural connotations of different words and intonations, and yeah, like you pointed out, Hyper, the sarcasm and was it sarcasm and overstatement? A beverage that isn't coffee, so beer? No, I got apple juice. And some ginger ale. For later, maybe. How is it? I'm trying to get back into the flow. Right, Americans do sarcasm and overstatements, and Australians do irony and understatements. Yeah. That's in Dutch as well. If your language has those kinds of nuances. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Definitely. Which is why I think it's important that when learning a new language, you don't just simply learn the language, but you learn something about the culture too. Yeah, Swedish can be direct? I thought the Swedish culture was more passive aggressive and definitely like don't talk to strangers in public, that's weird. Kind of culture, but I could be mistaken. There we go. It is working. Hello. I'm just not in frame. Hi. It is we got the beginning of a paper chain. There, because it's my birthday next month. I still have the lights up. There's many of them. Yay. Hi. So yeah, Ozzy, instead of you're right, we'll say you're not wrong. Instead of that's bad, we'll say that's not ideal. Things like that. Isn't that British too? Isn't that British too? But yeah, no, my face cam is working. I'm just not in frame. I haven't found a way to set this up to show my face while also working, but I'm gonna redo the craft room at some point, friends. It's one of my goals for this year, is to clean up and redo the setup, because as you can see now, like down there's some just tails tails for my cosplay. Next there is makeup. Underneath that is my UV light for the nails. These are officially cat bats that no cat slept in for so long that I've just started using it as storage. Sims is up here, and even though I have an impressive collection of Sims games, I never play it, let alone on stream. So there's gonna be some changes, but yeah. Yeah. You're not exactly direct, we're more like emotionally avoidant, non-committal. Interesting. I do have to say that even within the Netherlands, there's different in cultures, like the Dutch have a more direct approach, but that's usually I don't want to say everywhere but here, because I also believe Brabant has the same feelings where it's not really direct and just different social norms that you're expected to adhere to, which is in Limburg as well. But the rest of the Netherlands is quite direct. Though I do feel that even in the south here, if you do compare that to most British culture, that they're still pretty direct. But yeah, there's always so much nuance, right? And you can't accommodate for everyone. You can't please everyone. Which honestly is just life. Isn't that just life? Can't please everyone. Absolutely, when you hike in the east, you greet a lot. Well, in the west, the greetings are a lot less. Yeah, you always enjoy the same way can mean different things to different cultures too, like GIMP. It's a graphic software to tech people, a latex-clad, ball-gagged person to kink people. And in Canada, it's a slur for people with disabilities on par with the R word. Maybe I chose the wrong word, just fascinated by it. Yeah, that is fascinating. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was a slur in Canada. Today I learned. Today I learned. You don't do emotional risks. Probably the clearest way you can put it. You don't put our feelings out there with having to have a bunch of plausible deniability about it. Interesting. But you live, you greet everybody, people will stare if you don't, and as an autistic person you hate it so much. Yeah, I can imagine. Your directness almost got you in trouble when you told one of your Czech grandfather's neighbors he's quite dominant. It wasn't intended as a bad thing at all, but Czech culture is still quite traditional. Oh, as in, it was seen as disrespectful to one of your elders, just to say, to put it that way, Sal? Because I'm not too familiar with Czech culture, I have to say. The scanning your internal dictionary for the R word. It's the French word for late. It's a French word for late or slow. You only found it out in a conversation with Selena where you said it in the king context and she was appalled. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I had no idea. Say no more. Yeah. Like, even if you didn't have that knowledge on hand, you would be able to look it up. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't like censorship. But I also don't feel like throwing out slurs. So it's a delicate balance. But yeah, that's where that comes from. Because it's the... Yeah, it's the word for slow. Slowed, late. But then again, there are some words in my social circles, especially among queer people, that will use slurs to define themselves and their queerness. It's just it's a way of reclaiming the word, which yeah, I'm all for, but it's also, you have to be mindful of when to use it. And as an autistic person, it can be really difficult to determine when is a good time, when I'm in the right social circle to use it. Like, are these people in on the joke? Because it's, yeah, or not. I always err on the side of caution. But yeah, make no mistake, friends, I am still very much autistic, and social blunders are common. I've just gotten better at handling them on the spot, dealing with it. Being open to, because that's the thing I had to learn, being open to learning why that is a bad thing instead of just trying to flee from the bad situation. But like being calm and collected and open to the conversation, like, hey, why was this a bad thing to say? Or why did that fall flat? Like, what part of the puzzle are they missing? Why are they not in on the joke? You know? Queer itself is a reclaimed word, is it? Is it really? Could a G word use in that context? Does it seem like niches now? I know that niche is Canada. Yeah. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. You're thinking of physical disabilities? Yeah. Like, especially generations above millennials are still very in the mindset of men are men and the man takes care of things and macho and no feelings. Ah, the toxic masculinity, yeah. There's a difference between censorship and respect. Yes, we don't need to censor words we know that they shouldn't be used, yeah. When one starts to be illegal, people use them, we'll just find other words. Anyway, yeah. It's like new slurs are made every single day. It's important to be able to acknowledge their existence, but also a massive side eye to people who use them carelessly or cruelly. Queer is almost as bad as the F slur from the 60s to the 90s. Interesting. Because I've heard, well, no, not heard, it's not the right word, but I've seen some discourse on some bloggings and forums about queer being a slur, but I've never felt that myself. I did back when I still smoked, and this is a long time ago, when I worked in the Irish pub, and one of my colleagues, who was a Brit, used slang to ask me if he could have a cigarette. That made me blink twice. He's like, you want a what now? And why does that have to do with me? Right, yeah. Best need so grateful when people are around you. feel comfortable enough to tell me when I have, for example, racist thought, because it's sometimes so ingrained through upbringing I realize a joke is racist. Yeah. Same, Sal. I have had to do a lot of unlearning, and I still do. So I'm really grateful when people hold me accountable and call me out on casual racism. Because it is still very much a thing, and it is sadly part of, like you said, it's part of the upbringing. So I am unlearning a lot of things still. Yeah, then from the 2000s on, the LGBTQIA started reclaiming it, which is why you still find some folks who get offended by it, especially the elder gays. Oh. Yeah. I see. That makes sense. Thank you for explaining that. Today I learned. I'm learning many things today, friends. This is a really interesting conversation. I like this. I like this a lot. But yeah. That interaction I had with a friend with a cigarette was probably very similar to when Selena heard me say that. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, excuse me, what? And he just repeated the phrase as if that would make me, like, he thought I had misheard. Like, didn't hear, but I was like, I just didn't know what it meant. I was not in on British culture that much that I knew the slang. Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Which is, yeah, it's understandable. You live, you learn, right? But yeah, I like I said, there's a lot of things that I have unlearned, especially in recent years. And it's also why I'm no longer in contact with most of my family, because my worldviews and what I consider basic human rights, those ideas are not shared, and you know, I don't have to interact with those people. I don't have the energy. These people are tired to turn queer into a slur again, mainly because it's the most inclusive word for queer people, because anyone can use it for any personal reason. A lot of reason discourse is in that light is younger people. You can't exclude people from queer as you can with bi. I was just squishing it all together into one word, LGBTQ. But no, the queers will prevail. Yes, we're here. We're queer. Get used to it. But yeah, bi, gay, pan, ace, lesbian, etc. Yeah, whatever the label for the gay. Indeed. But you still don't get to bring sun with you to your grandparents. You don't really want them to see you for who you are. You're too scared for the old world views, and it will break your heart. Yeah, it's why I officially haven't come out as polyamorous to my dad and my brother, but I think dad has put two and two together by now, but it's one of those things we just don't talk about it. And he's very accepting of everyone and everything, so, you know. But I am also hesitant, because what if he doesn't approve? But yeah. But then again, there's also very much, my dad is also very understanding that, like, it's none of his business, but it's also none of anyone else's business what I do in the privacy of my own home. And it's partially also that he would be scared to accidentally say the wrong thing and run his mouth, because, like, to the rest of my family, except for my brother and father, I am not out as trans, as non-binary. They don't know my name change, because that doesn't feel safe. And that's also the thing, right? No one can tell you how to transition. You have to do it at your own pace for your own safety and things. But it's it's a story I'll tell. I've told before, but when I was outed as bisexual, my mom had a whole breakdown and drama, and my dad was just like, "Yeah, I knew that was your girlfriend. Like the way you looked at each other, it was obvious to me. Didn't feel like." You know, he didn't feel like it had to be a conversation. It just was the way it was, and that's fine. But yeah, that was. And I feel like this is basically the same kind of situation. He knows, and that's fine. He's also mainly just excited to get to share his hobby with more people. I showed you a picture of a trans relative and asked, what do you see? And it was like, it looks like a cool person. And your grandfather just was like, he never brought it up again. Yeah, but that's one way of going about it. Hell yeah, good for them. You don't talk about your worldview with your dad because he would try to make fun of it in a bad way. My dad is very open to a lot of things, but when it comes to people of color, he is very biased, and yeah, he's just straight up racist. And I correct him every time he uses a slur. I was like, Papa, we don't say that. We don't say that. Use this instead. And like over Christmas when they were here, we were having a good time, and then a joke was brought up by my brother, like a really racist joke, and then none of us laughed. We just gave him a side eye, like, this is not appreciated, and then we moved on because I didn't feel like making a big deal out of it, but the message was clear. But yeah, sometimes, like I do with my family, I'm not out to them, I don't talk to them. Like sometimes that is just the best and safest approach for yourself. Like not every person has to be an activist. And activism comes in many ways, has many shapes and forms. Not everyone has the energy to speak up, not everyone has the words to speak up. And not everyone has the safety to speak up, you know? Like, especially for me and other non-native English speakers, like, sure, we are fluent in English, but it's still a matter of actively translating for me. Actively translating and finding the words for it, and that costs extra time and extra energy, you know? Which is easy to forget, even for myself. Mother is trying to adopt every queer person without a loving family. You love her so much for that. I love that, Jason. Your mother need another kid. A kid or grandkid, depending on her age, she would love to. Yeah. Having a conversation with a very homophobic ex-colleague. Saw a guy wearing pink and broke his brain with asking him how it hurt, and the guy was wearing pink. His then girlfriend also ways this later came out to me and thanked me for putting him in his place. Yeah. Yeah. I just mockingly go, oh, is the big strong man scared of a color? Are you scared of a color, buddy? It's okay. It can't hurt you. Like... But then again, I do I am a little shit sometimes. Like, if I do feel like, fuck it, you can't hurt me, then I will kick your shins. I don't care. Welcome to the family, hell yeah! It's like, not the Christmas last year, but the year before. We were visiting relatives, and I got my hands on a Lego set. So I was building this Lego set with Sal. And then someone stood next to me and was apparently looking over my shoulder, and I hadn't noticed I was sorting my Lego. So the person next to me goes, yeah, they're completely in their own bubble. And I just didn't even look up. I just went, yeah, I'm allowed. I have an autism diagnosis. And I just continued. Like, fuck you. The person nearly choked on their tea when I said that, because the rest of the family in that room also very much is on the spectrum. It's just that I'm the only one who officially has the diagnosis. And I was like, suck it. You try to make fun of me? Eat it. I'm not always that quick-witted though, it has to be said, but sometimes I don't care. Because it wasn't meant in a making fun of people with autism way. It was just making very clear that, yeah, I'm the only person in the room with a diagnosis, but there's many more here on the spectrum. You have a colleague who often wears bright pink or lime green for a day. He does that when he has a difficult meeting and wants it to be over quickly. So he decides to wear clothes so bright he needs sunglasses to look at him. Love that. Love that. Honestly. 10 out of 10. Excellent strats. I'm here for it. Oh. And when you don't feel the need to make eye contact, it doesn't bother you that much, right? You move the software, I suppose you can view it like water versus rock very slowly. And you bash people's windows in. Listen. Hey. Pave the way? Yeah. You paved the way slowly, and listen, Sen once said... But then I was on a war path, friends. I was on a war path. On my previous job, they assumed no one talked about salary. Now, let me tell you one thing, friends. Ask your colleagues how much they make. Talk about your salary. Because if you don't, you get screwed over. Because corporate thinks that talking about money is taboo. And it shouldn't be. So I got a new position, and I asked my colleague how much he made. And I told him what they offered me. Turns out that was offensively low, what they offered me. And I thought they could get away with it because it was more than I made in my previous position before that. But because I had asked my colleague how much he made, I knew that was... Yeah, so I pulled out all the cards. I did the research. You know, when you're so angry, you are calm. When you reach the point that you're so like seething, livid, that you end up on the other side and reach calm again, that's where I was. And I sat down and I did my research and I looked up, because I was in the union. I was in like the salary was mandated by Not by the union, but it was known that there was different scales and different steps in set scale, so you would know what to expect and what scale you were in and how many years of experience you had. So I looked that up. I looked up my rights. I looked up what was expected of me, my obligations, and I gathered my ammo. And that's where that's when Sen was like, Finn, you negotiate by grabbing a grenade, pulling out the pin in the middle of the meeting room, and say, let's talk. Let's just have a conversation. Let's talk about this. And that's like what I did. Because all of that shit, all of my research ready to go. With my rights and my obligations and their rights and their obligations. And I went in. And I had to pull the sexism card, friends. Because it didn't matter what I said, it didn't matter this and that. I could show them that this position was on this scale and this was my years of experience, so I should make this much. It didn't matter. And then I completely circumvented my manager and my manager's manager. I went straight to the head of the lab. Which is another thing that a lot of people don't dare do, because hierarchy, I'm not scared. You piss me off. I go to the head of the lab, and I was like, hey, can we have a talk about this? Sure, we planned a meeting. And I sat there, and this was when I still identified as a woman, and I was like, listen, bud, this colleague, my direct colleague, does exactly the same work. He's a man. Do you really mean to tell me that you want to pay me, a woman, less than a man who does the exact same job? Because I don't think that's what you're trying to tell me, is it? And suddenly it was really, I got the salary I deserved. It's really weird. It's really weird when you start reminding people of the, what do we call it? First Amendment, where in the Netherlands, where that says that discrimination against gender, race, looks, or of any kind is illegal. It's really weird how quickly things get done then. But I was so angry that I had to. I was so angry that I had to pull that card. But yeah, no, yep. But like, will also look up, okay, it's also for my own benefit. Like, I will look up like rules and regulations and see, did I fuck up? Like, am I in the wrong here? But yeah. You'd be furious too, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. But that's the thing, like, they expect you to not talk about money with your colleagues. But you have to, friends. You gotta. It's not a fun topic, but it's important. Otherwise they screw you over. So yeah, that's a little Finley lore drop for you. If I get really angry, I break out the ammo. And I've, even in college, I got compliments on my ability to write without emotion, to just write a very concise, to the point. These are our rights, these are our obligations, these are your rights and obligations, these are our demands. Because one of our teachers got fired, and they required us to retake an oral exam that we'd already taken from that teacher. So I was like, that's not right. And then I just wrote it as the class, like my classmates. I let them all read it and agree to it, but I was the one who wrote it, and I was the one who sent it in. as a class representative, and I got compliments on my on the way I wrote without emotion, which is quite funny because back then I was I was still very explosive. But apparently I had reached the point of calm, so angry that I'm calm, and then I can do that. Is a word for that state? It's a Terminator state? Ah, you two are familiar with the mindsets about it, and I see. Very good point to be, though. Yeah, exactly. Factual, furious, and fucking shit up for people not doing their job. Exactly. Sometimes you gotta kick shins. And something I read recently is that we're all the villain in someone's story. And that, honestly, that sentence has changed something in my brain. We're all the villain in someone's story. It's true. And you can't change anything about that. It's just a part of life, but yeah. You definitely other people's trauma. I too am. Yep. I've done things I'm not proud of, and things I've changed about myself, and it's not like it's important to not keep punishing yourself for it, but instead learn and just do better. Like I said, I've done a lot of unlearning of racist and sexist point of views because that's how I was raised. Yeah, it's 3 states of being: really angry, Hulk, Alien, and Terminator, in that order. So Hulk, I get. I understand. I feel that in my soul. I too can be Hulk and reactionary. I try not to, and nowadays it's a lot easier to not be, but sometimes, you know, meltdown's gonna meltdown. Terminator is the calm and collected state where you're like so angry you're calm again. What is Alien? What does that look like, Sebastian? And everyone is their own main character. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That too. I'm gonna grab a sippy. Ugh. Sippy of happy juice. Time to take a sip, friends. Kieran, that meme you just sent me, that's beautiful. Can you post, I don't know if you have, but can you post that in a ramen cart? Because, yes, you have, there we go. Some pics and vids, friends, if you're in the Discord. Oh no. Oh no. And like, I cannot look too closely at the chair because it just, I need to look away, otherwise I'm just gonna be giggling. It's such a mood. It's such a mood. Are we talking Sigourney Weaver getting ready to fuck up the Queen angry? Oh, hi goats. Listen, it's a mood. It is, but look at the chair. Oh no. In your alien, your anger disappears in the background and suddenly boom when you're close. Ah, the explosive. Yes. That's a mood indeed, isn't it just? Oh, yes. Thank you for sharing that, Kieran. That is... we can all relate. And yeah, I will help you after stream. Then we build it together. That's okay. I've built many Carlux, and it's just some of these things you just have to do with another person. There we go. All right. Yeah, now that's the wings, the outline done. I have to decide where to go from here. Because it's... Yeah, this is MothCloth, friends. Yeah. Yeah, the face cam is on to show the beginning of the paper chain. I'm excited. Yeah, can I... Is my camera not with that on? Hold. Please hold. There. And there's more on this side, but it's so big that it doesn't... Even this is my camera on maximum zoom, friends. It doesn't fit because it's so big. But this is my cloak. This is the back of my cloak. This is the pattern I'm working with. Needle felting. And these are the pockets. These are the pockets that are going to go on the front panel. This one needs a bit more work, thickening up some lines, adding some more to the skull. But yeah, this one's done. Done the needle felting at least. I need to wet felt it next. But I want to do these two together. Sol is staring at you. You're not making the cold go away. Oh, baby. Those are pretty. Thank you. I'm really proud of them. But yeah, these are the front pockets. And then this one will be on the back, shoulder to shoulder. This is solufleece in Dutch, but yeah, it's water soluble. All I have to do when I'm done is spray it with cold water, and this will dissolve. Which is what I've done here as well. You spray it with cold water and it just dissolves. So yeah, that's why I'm very thinly, you can see it. Very thinly putting on the wool just to have the outlines done. And then, actually, I don't have a water here. Hold on, I'm gonna grab the spray bottle because I am curious. I have to be careful not to touch this part, so I think I might just do it here in the middle. Here in the middle. Yeah, that one! That exact one! That exact one. It's so old now. But here it is, look. I have to be really careful. Ugh. Let's see. Can we make the magic happen? Just have to remove the residue.
It's so sticky.
I'll grab my paint rag because I have that nearby. There, see? Comes out like this. Yeah. Thank you for the gigantic spray bottle. Sure looks like that on stream, huh? Yeah, it gets sticky. Because I think it's just made of cellulose or something. I'm not exactly sure. Pretty sure they have the details on their website. There, like this. Oh yeah, this needs a lot of cleaning up and a lot more needle felting, but I was expecting that. And it's good to see that the pattern at least it transferred. Safely lickable. God, not this again. Is that... Why? What is it with you little shits and trying to lick everything? Licking the sponges? Licking the fucking cellulose? Why do you want to lick the artwork, chat? Tell me. What is up with that? Is that just an oral stimming? Do you need to orally stim with something? There are other things you can put in your mouth. Believe it, it's not very lickable. Not with that attitude. PVA it's not bad for you. So PVA is like PVA glue, the wood glue, this stuff, but it's also the outer coating of like some cheeses. You just put a couple of nuts in your mouth, good for you. See, that's safe oral stimming, friends. Be like Sebastian. Don't try to lick the forbidden things. It's so sticky. Which makes sense, I know. I know it makes sense. But still. There. Cashews and chocolate covered peanuts? Hell yeah. Only like the allowed things like sport. God damn it. Why? Why are you like this, chat? It's just a rock, I say, as I like the arsenic. It's a natural product, I say, as I crunch down the asbestos. Right, chat? Natural products are good for you. doesn't want the fireproof insides. Asbestos is basically popcorn. Not this. Chomping down on some uranium for easy calories. Dietitians hate them. Oh, for the gains. Oh god, no. Why? Not what that means, chat. Just a lot of energy in uranium. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Who needs a granola bar? Where you can just chomp down on some uranium. What could possibly go wrong? I bet the experience will be jaw-dropping. Or the results, at least. Right, okay, that's good. This eases my mind. This needs to dry so I can't work on this, but this definitely eases my mind because I was like, what if the pattern hasn't transferred? What if I haven't used enough wool to make it clear? But this is really clear pattern, what I need, and then I can start filling in some bits and pieces because it's not gonna be just the line work, but I want to have the full line work before I start filling things in, except for the moons. There's moons here, crescent moons, that I will fill in just like the skull up here. But yeah. I'm thinking what to do. I think I can do one half and then the other. I don't have to fully fan it out anymore. Finishers of Ink does not endorse the consumption of highly toxic, radioactive, or generally gross substances. Thank you. Thank you for the disclaimer. Just the really fast-spoken disclaimer at the end of commercials for pharmaceuticals or something. I feel like I should do this part. There's a foam block underneath. Learning about vinyl alcoholic ethanol. Not to be confused with ethanol. Yeah. Ethanol and ethanol. I don't know. I know it's ethanol, but yeah. I've worked with this stuff before. Do not confuse those, that would be bad! Yeah, alright friends, we have an ad starting soon again. Yeah, before I start the next part, I will once again move my body a little bit. I think it's good to just at least move around every hour. If you're able, friends. You know your body best, but yeah. Another reminder to take your meds if you've not taken your meds today, but you still can. To check on your laundry, and do other bits and pieces, and I see you all in about 3 to 4 minutes. we go. Hello, friends. Welcome back. No! You don't remember if you took your meds, Jason? Ruh-roh. Badian, what is a chemical dog? What does that even mean? What does that even... What? Huh? Like, the solid argon matrix is impressive, don't get me wrong, but you lost me at chemical dog. It's because it's so unstable and the organ is the right shape to hold its molecules in a steady configuration. Oh, it just needs the deep pressure like that. Not like it's practical or anything. So, wait, it doesn't just need argon to form, but it needs to be kept under argon to maintain its form? Or what? That sounds like an expensive endeavor. The nerds are talking chemistry! I'm a biology nerd! Right. Continue on this wing. But where? Is this line? All the way out of sight. This isn't long enough, but that's okay. I can add another strand. And I can at least divide this into segments. That's good. Here, look at the structure of ethanol of hydrogen's molecule forming the legs. Yeah. Oh, 106 out the back is a tail. And oh, a head with a snout. I see. I see. Like, what's a chemical dog? Is it like like a drug hound? But somehow this is a specific molecule. Like, is it an indicator for something? What is going on? Oops. Why are you suddenly making a different noise? What's up with that? Do I need to grab a new one? I think I need to grab a new one. Yeah, let's do it. I have a minute to build it. It just looks like a dog coming in for ethanol. It's alcohol. Yeah. I know. I know what ethanol is. I just thought it maybe had properties I wasn't aware of. But yeah. I'm never gonna be able to unsee that, like, in any other way than a balloon dog. SNL is now forever a balloon animal. Speaking the discords? Hold on. My phone. Get back in there. Yeah. It's slipping off of my desk. Oh, you're actually building it. I remember those. Oh shit, I remember those building kits. Good times. Do I still have it? I think I still have it, so let me look it up. It's not in here. Shit, it's in my wallet, I think. I have a small wallet on the back of my phone, but I have my the rest of my wallet in my backpack downstairs, and it has a credit card size periodic table of elements and some other things on the back. We used to have 2 of those kits, yeah. Mine is still somewhere, but yeah. Because you and I both went to lab school. I just specialized in biology. There we go. I'm working in my own light a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I had to move the microphone. There we go. Can I... hold on. I move my light past my camera. Hold on, chat. Bert. There. There we go. I'm no longer working in my own light. Good. So this is a magnifying light. I open it up. Yeah. I could. Ooh, do you think I can, chat? Let's see. the wrong way. Don't think I can focus through. No, that just distorts the image. No, okay. Plans cancelled. Something to experiment with off stream to not make everyone motion sick. and you know, okay. Which is just what? They're either missing a group or they have an additional group. Man, it's been so long since I've had organic chemistry. There's something tingling in the back of my mind. I quite enjoyed organic chemistry. I know there's people who absolutely hated it, but I quite enjoyed it. But then again, I'm also the kind of nerd that enjoys geometry and proving that you know, something's a right angle and stuff like that. Like the very theoretical mathematics of objects. But then again, that is still something that I use in crafting, so it makes sense, right?
The first commercial airline flight took to the air in 1914. Everyone involved screamed the entire way.
It's still not doing the TTS. What if I repeat it? I repeat the...
Polymerase I polypeptide A is a human gene.
Nope. Why? I played around with the TTS, but it's still not working. But thank you for the biddies, Sebastian. 90 degrees is pretty hot for most people, but for mathematicians, it's just right. Hi, Karma. You're in your break again and only have an hour left of your shift when you go back? Hell yeah. Thanks for hanging out here. I hope you're well. Have you huddled up against the heater? Yeah. Yeah, 90 degrees is pretty hot for most people, at least in Celsius. I don't know what that is in freedom units. I mean Fahrenheit. The F stands for Fahrenheit. You are indeed, yeah. So I checked the TTS in Firebot. And it turns out it had no voice selected for the TTS for some reason. I don't know why. Messed up with an update, I think. And now the TTS still isn't coming through because I don't even see it pick up on the whatchamacallit, on the equalizer in OBS. So something's wrong, and I fear it is my Windows settings again, because of course some fucking update has messed with my sound settings again, because of course it has. And switching to Linux is getting less and less daunting. I'm not quite there. I need to find a way to save my data on a different disk or a different place so that I can have a clean slate on my system and then import my files from the disks as I please, because it is also in need of a cleanup, and this would be a good moment to do that, I think. Well, 30. Oh, okay. Never gonna make a switch to 11? No. I know some people are required to have it for their job. And I feel for them. I really do. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna switch to 11. Gonna be Linux for me. Also, hi Lyra, good to see you protecting your copy of 10 like it's your firstborn child. So I know here, the security updates, will continue until October this year for free. Because yeah, as per usual, the governments are hideously far behind on upgrades. But there was some, I don't know, I'm not super knowledgeable about cyber security law and all that, but apparently Microsoft has to continue support for Win 10 here for at least this year. I've got some time before I really need to switch to Linux, but I want to do it before it reaches that point, you know? About for that years ago, user profiles on a separate disk. Ah, interesting. Yeah, my stream things are on a separate disk. Like all my assets that I use for stream are on a separate disk. All my emotes, which you know are uploaded to Twitch, but I also have them saved in physical copy, of course, because they're made by me. But yeah, there is one of the discs. I needed to reinstall Windows many years ago, and I mean many years ago. So I copied all of my files onto a disk. Naturally, those files are still called PC backup on my external hard drive because then too I had the intention of filtering and going through all my files, but I never did. Which is the ADHD experience. It's just, you know, no one's surprised. But yeah. Yeah, it do be like that. But we'll see. I have several plans for this year. One of them is to redo the craft room and basically the backdrop of my face cam that you'll see often because it feels messy to me at the moment. It's also that the angle has changed now that my saddle seat is definitely broken and I can no longer have my desk at the stand position continuously. I still can when I actually stand behind my desk, but I had it set up in such a way that my seat that I am on currently was able to be at a elevated position so that I could sit at my stand desk. But that no longer works. I put in a new cylinder, but yeah, the cylinder turns out not to have been the issue. So yeah, getting a new chair is on the list of things to do this year. I've decided to prioritize things a bit differently and get new glasses first.
The Schrodinger's cat paradox outlines a situation in which a cat in a box must be considered, for all intents and purposes, simultaneously alive and dead. Schrodinger created this paradox as a justification for killing cats.
Wow. I still love Vista, baby. Vista? I know it's Hasta la Vista, but like, Vista, really? Of all the Windows versions. Wow. That's okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger's an old man. He doesn't know.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oblio!
Meow, 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 meow.
Thank you.
Meow.
Thank you for giving that sub to the community. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Yay! Hold up. Hope this doesn't fall. Ugh. Oh, thank you. I will add... Helps if I move my microphone. Whoopsie. I will add a link to the paper chain. I know it's a play on his famous Terminator quote. Hasta la vista, baby. Ugh. Boom. Here we go. I'm bumping into my trash can, which is still behind me as well. Don't worry about it, chat. Yeah. Like I said, the craft room needs to be cleaned and such. It's fine. But yeah. Thank you for saying thank you to Sebastian and then paying that sub forward. Thank you, thank you. It's appreciated. Yeah, I'm making a paper chain for my birthday. For my birthday. Next month. Which, by the way, friends, you can add a link to the paper chain with 300 bits or more every €3 on Ko-Fi and every sub. Those are the flavors. Actually, you know what? Yep. Let me quickly change here. And by here, I mean my desk. I'm gonna check something while I'm here. While it's fresh in my brain. TTS, where are you? What does this do? It's not coming through, okay. System, sound devices. Firebot, you. Is it cable? I think it might be cable. Please hold.
I think you are awesome.
Yeah! I think it's working now. It's working! I hope.
Before the invention of scrambled eggs in 1912, the typical breakfast was either whole eggs still in the shell or scrambled rocks.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was asked if he wanted to upgrade to Windows 11. He replied, "I still love Vista, baby."
There we go! Fixed it! Yeah! Thank you for confirming. I fixed it, chat. It was Windows. Damn you, Windows! Shaking my fist. Ah, I see your other builds now in the Discord as well, Zabadian. Interesting. Yeah, it's appreciated. Because those are things I cannot see. Or hear in this case. Oh shit, it's snowing again. There is so much snow, chat. Naming all as follows: ethane, single bond, ethene, double bond, and ethine. 18 and 18. Yeah. When I stopped it since this morning, it stopped for a bit, but it's snowing again. Very lightly, though. But still, thick flakes. Yeah, I know how to pronounce that in Dutch, but I have no idea how one would pronounce that in English, but that's okay. That's okay. Not important. It's not like I'm like not like I have a use for that in daily Yeah, I know that. I know that much. I learned that in school. But it's not like I have a day-to-day application for chemical naming of things anyway. Well, by the way, Sen, I don't know if you're here, but what I realized a couple days ago, now that we have more physio appointments through insurance this year, which will be with like a personal trainer type thing, maybe our next pair of orthopedic shoes should be suitable for that. Like, I wanted to get a pair of slippers I could wear around the house, but I think I might go with just a pair of sneakers that I can wear indoors and then also to physio. How are you feeling today, Karma? Yeah, same. It's a bad one, even though sometimes it's like buried deep. But yeah. Like the same type of naming conventions for added groups. Cold is mostly clearing up. I woke up with a cold sore. Boo. Boo. Illegal. I hope that clears up soon. Those are the worst. There we go, and I can use the rest to go around the corner here. Just... yeah. Anyone else doing some craft projects? Or some creative projects, at least? Doesn't have to be right now, but I guess there's a project waiting for you somewhere. I have many projects waiting for me somewhere. There's always something. I'm always working on like 6 things at the same time. It's just where the hyper focus takes me, you know? Right now I really want the especially now in the snow. This cloak will be perfect, but I can't take this out. Because it will just dissolve. It will just dissolve the pattern. Because you were bored? Hell yeah. I still have Binas. I think we have 2. We had at one point. I hope I'm not having to be gone next week. I hope so too. Oh boy, that is a lot of snow. Friends? Friends? That's a lot of snow. Holy shit. Then do you know how many centimeters we have roughly already? Because this is that's a thick blanket of snow. Yes. Like the picture that Sebastian posted as well. That's about what my backyard looks like as well. I think I might have a little bit more here, but I'm not sure. It looks thicker. I'd say we're closer to 5. Yeah, 3 to 5, yeah. So Beth in the lead. There's a 22 in the. Did you remember? You were doing another drawing before you stopped. Ooh. It's nice to see you back in the lead, Sebastian. Yeah, you told me why you quit. I think several years ago at this point. But it's nice to have you back, and I hope you can enjoy it in a way that is good for you and your brain. Hutton Truckers drawing. Hutton Truckers. I know Hutton Orbital. Is that a collective then of truckers that have Hutton Orbital as their base? I know that's a space station in Elite. Oh goodness, that's some thick snow. I might get snowed in, chat. Oh no. Good thing I don't have any plans. Indeed. So there's a yeah. Okay. Yeah, I figured it had to be something like that. This one doesn't connect, but it doesn't connect here either. I feel like I'll leave it open for now, but I might connect it later. And flying at the men, super cruising. 1.5 hours. Oof. Bane of the Fuel Rats, co-running away to Hutton was never fun. Yikes. That sounds intense. Okay, back to the grind. Good luck with the last hour of work, Karma. Be sure to check for Red when I get home. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, so Red is in Animal Crossing. I only have 4 paintings for the museum that I still need to finish it. So yeah, I wanna finish the museum, but I'm doing it part by part. Like right now I want to finish all the artwork. I finished all the words apparently. I've run out of words again. All the statues, I finished all the fossils, and right now I want to finish the artwork before I move on, probably to bugs, but it could be bugs and or fish at the same time, while I time travel to get the ones I need, or not, and just keep up with the seasonal things for that. Though I think there are some things I'll have to time travel for because I'm simply never awake at that time. There's things that only spawn during those hours. But yeah, there's a new big update coming in this month. I think Karma said the 15th, something like that. So I'm hoping more people will hop back into Animal Crossing to at least play the update. and maybe help me finish my museum. There. I don't know, there's something underneath here that I... Ah, that's what's there. Never mind. Like, there's a dot here, but I don't see it on the other side, but there is a dot there, and I have worked on that. So all is well. Oh, Nicola. I can hear you do the beepy boops. You can't hear him, chat, but I can hear the bird. In the house. He has opinions, because of course he does. He always does. He always has opinions about something or other, and those opinions are loud. As he demonstrated yesterday. While he was here. He got to touch the snow, chat. It was too cold for him to stay outside long, but he got to touch the snow. I was fascinated. He's seen snow before. But because it's so infrequent, he always forgets how cold it is, and then he wants to touch it. And then he shakes his head. He's like, oh god, that's cold. It's like, yeah, bud. It is cold. That's what snow is. How could the little bird brain know? He's telling you snow. Yeah. He's not being here, wants to be in the kitchen, but then it's working on getting... So he's not in the kitchen. Ah. How dare. It's like, yesterday when I promised him we'd go downstairs after stream, but I also told him that I had to make a pit stop in the bathroom because I had to pee first. That was unacceptable. I said we would be going downstairs. Excuse you, why are we in this room now? This is unacceptable. Like, yeah, well, you're gonna have to deal. You will have to deal, little birdie. He's agreeing with me. Stop, 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 stop. Yeah. Hey, stinky bird. Yeah, maybe I should make a stab, stab, stab emote, but I fear it'll have to be animated because I run out of slots, unless it's gonna be like in the bit slots or something. I think I have a few there. I should take a look. It's the first time making a graphic because I've made a couple changes. So my Ko-Fi is now no longer a minimum of €3, but it's a minimum of €1 to have a Ko-Fi equivalent of 100 bits in chat. But there's some different alerts. But the thing is, the Ko-Fi is not integrated in Firebot, so I have to do a creative workaround with having Firebot recognize the username of Ko-Fi Streambot, and then in the message that is posted, what, like, the amount is, and then trigger it that way, because there's no... Ko-Fi's own integration doesn't have the option to make custom alerts for different amounts. There's one alert for Ko-Fi that you can set up through their website, but not like different amounts and different things. They don't have that option. So I have to be creative and do a workaround with it. I think I've set it up correctly in such a way that it only takes the amount and not if someone has like numbers in their in the name that they gave or in the message that they typed. It should not trigger, but we'll see. It's also difficult to test because I cannot give in custom amounts when testing the alert on the Ko-Fi website. It doesn't... I cannot test if my theory is correct that this is the way to make custom alerts through Ko-Fi or through Firebot from Ko-Fi amounts. So we'll see. We're all gonna be learning together, chat. Here. Like, where's the line? But the line is here. Stab, stab, stab indeed. gotta be many more stabbings. Because this is a big project. I will not be doing everything on stream, and that's okay. I'm sure you get the gist of it. I'll just periodically show you updates. Come in. Come in. Whoa. Oh, he wants to be here?
I think so.
Come, Nick. Come on.
Package deliver and then
Oh. Was there someone at the door?
we'll be listening to you.
Look who it is, chat. The bird! It's a Nikki. I'm gonna put his perch on my chair again. Yes, I know, you like that. Yes. And then I'll do this, and... Yannick. I do this. There we go. There. Chat, you now have a Nikki cam too. Boop. Are you gonna be good? Are you gonna be a good bird? Yeah? Okay. He had to think about it, chat. He had to. He was like, am I gonna be a good bird? Yeah? You are, Nick. It's okay. What? Do you wanna help? Do you want a bit of wool? Stuff here? No? Sometimes he wants a texture. You want texture? I offered you the texture, but you said no. See? There's food here though. I'm gonna eat them. Yeah. Oi. That's not a nice sound, buddy. I don't like that. No. It's not a good sound. Did you not? Don't sit on my knee. You wanna sit on my knee? The only reason you want to sit here is so you can climb to the floor. Yeah, I'm not about that, bud. Yeah, these are your options. Well, chat, we have an ad starting soon again, so I'm gonna be right back and figure out what he wants, because clearly it's not me. He does not want to be here. So, yeah. I'll see you all in about 4 minutes. There's only 3 minutes of ads, and they start in about 1.5 minutes. So don't worry, there's no extra ads. I just need a bit more time to figure out what the little dinosaur wants. There we go. Hello, I return. Let me turn this one off again. The bird needed nap time, chat. Sometimes it do be like that. So he has nap time. I'm gonna put the felting away for a second because package has already been delivered. I was not expecting it so soon. But yeah. New papers. So I can make colorful strips for the paper chain. Hell yeah. Color explosion. With alcohol ink designs. I might just try some origami just for funsies. With the other, because there's quite a few in here. Quite a few designs. Because the other one I have of this same series is the Christmas one, who has Christmas designs. Some basic shapes. Heart. Fish. Windmill. Butterfly. Oh, a bunny! A bunny. Penguin. Pigeon. Well, it's called a pigeon, but it's all in Dutch, so these are probably not the English terms for them. I'm just translating the Dutch. You know, we talked about that earlier. About context and culture. I'm pretty sure this is not a pigeon in English, but I don't know what it is, but it's called a pigeon in Dutch. A snake. A swan. Paper crane. I'm not gonna fold 2,000 of them. Not yet. A flower. A turtle. That's it. And then we get some really beautiful watercolor origami papers. Look at that. So these are all white and beige on the back. Also gorgeous. Love this one with the green and the peach and some gold accents. Really nice. Ooh, pink and rose gold. Yeah, you can tell the back is a light pink as well. There we go. These are the bright colors I was looking for. Pink. Ooh, hell yeah. Bisexual pride colors. Nice. Absolutely beautiful designs in here. I'll be selective about which ones I'll use for the paper chain, because not all of them have the bright colors on one side, and I was looking at a little less dark, but ooh. There we go. There's some bright ones in here as well. Yeah. My signature blue. It's here. Some greens. Ooh. This one's too dark, but it's really nice. Look, it's too dark for the paper chain, but I can definitely make other things with it. Gorgeous green. With the copper. Really good. Ooh. Like this one too. 27 more jumps to go on the Orion Nebula? Hell yeah. Definitely some good ones in there. Grab the other one. Or other ones, I should say. This one's for the Christmas, but what designs are in here again? Basics, there's also the heart. Yeah, so here, this is definitely the same design as the pigeon, but right here, they call it a robin. Like, I just tilted it. Star, a wreath, another star. For some reason, this is a snowflake, apparently. A Santa hat. Christmas tree. Suppose you could fold your napkins like that as well. A little gift. That is cute. But this one doesn't even have names on it. The bird. Little dog. Boat. Flying heart, I guess. Thank you for the follow. A crane. Another puppy. A tulip. And an envelope. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Does anyone know? Is this a cup? Or something? Looks like you can put something in up here, but no idea. I'm wondering with the 2 instructions of the paper crane if I could make one. Never made one. Done reindeer, but you need 2 sheets of paper for that. One. Here we go. So this one has more steps than this one, because this is step 4, and here that's step 8. It feels a bit like step 1, draw 2 circles. Step 2, add a beak. Step 3, draw the rest of the owl. You know? How many steps does this one have? 15. And this one's like, bet we can do it in 9. Okay. Okay. Though, in fairness, this one only has pictures and this one has text to go with it. So, we'll see. Grab one. These papers are bigger. These are 20 and these are only 15. Sure, I'll take one. Looks like they're like this. And then fold these corners in. And then you see... Hold. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see the instructions too, chat. How can I... Start playing around with my lighting. My zoom is manual, so forgive me if it's not in focus. Okay, and this one looks like the arrow faces out, so... I don't know, I've never done this, I'm just following the instructions. Okay. Yes, and then this one goes down. Okay. And this one goes here. Okay. Do this. What is happening here? You say this. It looks like you're this way around. Don't do that. That doesn't work, huh? Because this is all closed off. So I can't do this. How peculiar. Hold up, you say... That's this way. Oh, smaller triangle. Gotcha. You say this. Origami! Hi! Yeah, I got the new... I got the new papers in and they're beautiful. Like alcohol ink designs. And I saw that both books had a paper crane instruction, so I'm trying one of each. And this one doesn't have any text, so I'm figuring out as I go. What this even means. So far, I'm confused. Okay, so this one was folded in. And then you want me to... what? Do this? What am I looking at here? This is what it was. I've somehow managed to mirror it already. Fascinating. I am talented like that, chat. Did you know? I mean, I had a hunch, but... Okay, let's go back. It was like this. And we did this. And 4 said to do this. Then 5. There we go. Fixed it. Now I'm here. That's this one. And this one will be folded here. Now 6 needs to leave this. And then do this. And do this. Okay. Do I flip it? Yes. And then you go here. And then suddenly we have this. So this is 7. Right? This one here. And then suddenly I need to do this. How even? This fold lines. There's an arrow here pointing in. Maybe if I understand what's going on in the next page, I can understand what's going on, because nope. These fault lines I see, but then this doesn't match. Nope. Fucked it. So these instructions don't work. Let's see if this one fares better. Instructions... Instructions unclear. Hold. I'm gonna give it one more chance because I completely... Oh, there's no basics. Never mind. I was gonna say, I completely glossed over the basics. But that's this book. This book has basics. Okay. Take... Yeah, why not? One of these. Okay. Hold both diagonals. Okay. It doesn't tell me which side of the paper needs to be up. But that's okay. Okay, and now... Different instructions. We're gonna try again. Okay, fold it in half in the other direction. Put a finger on the middle of the paper so the sides fold up. I don't know why I would put a... why that would help, but you want me to do this. Yes, that's the instructions I have. Now we're at the same point and it says put the paper in front of you in such a way that the open point is facing you. Fold. Oh, okay. So we need to fold this to the middle. That's what I didn't understand in the previous instructions. Fold it towards the middle. And then fold the top down. Not gonna be super neat, but... Then open that up again. Fold the bottom corner up. And it says the outside should automatically fold inwards. It's not happening. Unless... Oh, this one. Yeah, okay. I see. You mean in this way. That I can make happen. Yes. There we go. That I can make happen. Yes. Okay. Okay, so far so good. Turn it upside down. And just like the last step, fold it up. Let's see. I feel like my lines aren't sharp enough. Oh, that's okay. I'm learning. Fold the left and the right corner inwards. Like so. To the center. Turn around and do the same thing. Okay. Okie dokie. Can do. Yeah, the text definitely helps. And if I do get some terms wrong, please know that the instructions are in Dutch and that I am translating. So it's me. Okay. You want me to do what? Oh, I see. One fold here for the neck. And one fold here for the tail. Yes. Okay. Like this line needs to be really sharp because I feel like I need to fold that in. It's not easy. Do the same fold here. Should help. to get a folder, like what are they called? Help you make sharp lines and folding. In Dutch, it's een vouwbeen, which is just folding bone. Usually made out of actual bone because they're more durable and. But you can get plastic and metal variants too. I think that's right. I feel like this is gonna be a very tired crane, but then again, I'm an eepy little guy, so it's all on brand, chat. It's all part of the plan all along. You do want me to fold these down. Yeah, you do want me to fold them, see, inwards. Already, I only just got the book. I got it today, literally, in the break just now, and I'm already pulling out the pages. But I guess that's the downside of like the type of glue that they use, you know, because this booklet is designed to literally have the pages come out easily. Let's see. Another fold. To hopefully give this poor fella a face. Not looking good, chat. Oh, unless... There we go. My first paper crate, chat. Only 999 more to go. Hooray! Hooray indeed. It's beautiful paper. That helps. Yeah. And it says so here, that in Japan, the grain stands as a symbol for a happy life. And according to legends, you make a wish if you have folded 1,000 paper cranes. So you got some work to do. Not today. Not today, thank you. I will cut some more strips. In the meantime, transitioning from the Witch Hat Nebula to the Horse Hat Nebula. Ooh, space! How does it feel to be back, Gladian? How does it feel to be back in space? That is many paper warps, yes. I don't have enough paper for that even, because these are only 333. Feels relaxing, different but still relaxing. Are those ships? You're not in your trusty ship, but in a new one? Ah, nice. I really like this one, chat. The vaporwave. Bisexual colors. Who'd have thunk it? Ooh, yes, with the rose gold, I'm also grabbing one of these. And this one. And this one. Yeah, why not? There we go. To give me enough to get started. Do I want to cut you in this way or in this way? Gotta make decisions now, chat. Name ships have their favorite characters. The Major from Ghost in the Shell also pulled a lot of paper cranes after getting a new body. Shoots Japanese for the Wrangler. Oh! Saipov was the Macedonian for Raw. Raw running. What is Raw running in Elite? What does that mean? Makan is Indonesian for tiger because you love tigers. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll be cutting you in this direction. Vertically. Yes, this way. I think? Sure. And there. There. Bright colors on both sides. Yeah. Nice. This is why I wanted to get these. There we go. In Elite, they added engineering and alien models to the game during updates. Raw running is going back to the early days of Elite when the galaxy was still a dangerous place for explorers. No external sites for help, no engineering, no alien modules, just you, a ship, and sheer determination to get where you want to go. Nice. Doing it the old-fashioned way. Hey, if that suits your vibe best, why not? This is, slightly too many papers. Whoops. And my cutter is, struggling. I do have a spare blade for it. Might be time. Might just be time. Swap blades and see if I can sharpen this one. We go. Yeah, this makes me happy. This is what I wanted. Bright colors on both sides of the paper. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Bit of contact, ship makes about 40, like your pajama engineering tip, we can do it 80. Ooh. Hey, it's all about preference, right? That's the great thing about Elite. You don't have to do all the fancy bits and pieces if you don't wanna. Like for me, Elite is like I really have to be in the mood for it because it's still very overwhelming. I wish there was a bit more hand-holding, like story-wise in Elite, where it's just like, okay, today I want to do follow this story for, I don't know, I mostly do exobio, so that would be what I would go with most. And it just takes you by the hand a bit more and gives you like a bit of a story instead of like, there is story, there is lore to Elite, don't get me wrong, but it's all so fucking dry. It's in the codex that you can have narrated to you while you fly, but nor. So yeah, I really have to be in a mood for it, and then even then I just do exobiology because that sparks joy, because I like biology, I like botanicals. So that's what I would go for. Like if they added exofauna to the mix, I would be all over that, but for now it feels like exobiology is still a bit of an afterthought. But yeah. It's fine. You can't please everyone, and sometimes a game is just not for you, and that's okay too. And I think Elite is just not the game for me. And that's okay. I have plenty of other games to play. So yeah. But yeah, I'm happy with these. Happy with these colors. And my my wonky little crane. I try my best. It's either during Odyssey or it was at a combat and not exploration. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Who knows? There've been community goals. And now they'll follow a exobiologist. So who knows? Maybe. Oh, it helps if I bring my mouse. Did you know that, chat? That if you want to do something behind your desk, it helps if you have a mouse. Because I did. I just got reminded when there was no mouse. Or like yesterday when I tried to grab my stapler and was wondering where my cursor was. ADHD, me? Never. Who we can go say hello to, shall we, friends? I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully this time at 1 p.m. CET, which is, a little under 4 hours ago. Whatever that is in your time zone. What are you doing? Ooh, yes. I'm in the mood for this. Hell yeah. Okay, chat. How would you like to see a blacksmith at work? An armor smith even, working on a 16th century breastplate. Hello? That's fucking cool. We're gonna go say hi to Hut Armories. Grab some Raytex if you wanna, friends. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. All right. I don't think we've rated this person before, so it's a new person, but it's a fellow crafter there. Honestly, I'm not sure I've ever chatted there, so it's gonna be new for me too, but I have watched their content, and yeah. They make incredible things. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, friends. Maybe some more crafts, maybe even a game. Who knows? Not me. Let's find out together, shall we? And remember, take care of yourselves. Take care of your spoons. And I'll see you all around in the realms of Twitch, alright? I love you all. Bye-bye!